Hello, listeners. This is Get Radio Communication, and the program is Talent Attraction and Retention Strategies. I am your host, Titilola Ogushono, and I welcome you to yet another informative and expository episode. Today, we will be continuing our discussion on creating a culture of employee recognition as one of the strategies to attracting and retaining top talent in an organization. Last week, we explained the concept of employee recognition, also called social recognition, and we established it as the act of recognizing, acknowledging, and rewarding employees in an organization for their valuable contributions into the organization. Also, we discussed the characteristics of effective employee recognition programs, and we mentioned that it must be timely, it must be done frequently, and we went ahead to look at the importance of creating effective employee recognition programs. And we went again digged into looking at the practical steps to building an effective employee recognition program. So last week, we established that the first practical step to building an effective employee recognition program was to define what you want to recognize as an organization. You need to ensure that what you want to recognize aligns with the vision of the organization, with the mission of the organization, and with the core values of the organization. So it starts from definition, defining what you want to recognize, what behavioral pattern, what attitudes, what competencies do you want to recognize, do you want to reward as an organization. These must be clearly spelled out. We spoke about it in details last week, and we went further to say that you must communicate these programs, and you can deploy various channels to communicating the employee recognition programs. We also spoke to the fact that it's important that you get your stakeholders support, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, relevant stakeholders. You must get their buy-in, you must get their interest, you must win their loyalty. Because if you do not do this, whatever employee recognition programs that you birth into the organization, that you implement as a leader, might not work. It's not likely to be effective. Remember, we are discussing the practical steps to building an effective employee recognition program, and we also went to the fourth step, and we say that it's important that you adopt user-friendly employee recognition methods. That was how we wrapped up on that note on the last episode. So moving on to the fifth step, and that is you must build an all-inclusive employee recognition program. You must ensure as an organization that your recognition programs must be inclusive of everyone in the organization, irrespective of race, gender, religion, or background. You must provide equal opportunities for everyone. You must not put up programs that will be discriminatory. Your employees must not feel discriminated against. In fact, you should also have programs that would give equal opportunities to people with disabilities, people that are physically challenged. They must have access. So it goes back to the point of defining what behavior. You must ensure that everyone can get rewarded for their competencies, for their effort, for their contributions. So you must build an all-inclusive employee recognition program in your organization. In actual fact, it will be very demotivating if I belong to a particular race, I do not have equal opportunity with someone from another side of the country or another side of the world. I'm not going to feel comfortable. So you must ensure, you must be deliberate about it. You have to be proactive about it to ensure that everyone is included. And what I mean by saying everyone should be included means that you must have a way of measuring productivity, measuring valuable contributions that will cut across gender, race, background. This is very important. The next practical step, let's move on to it. You must ensure that your recognition programs are flexible. It's expected actually that your key performance indicators would have been defined. It's expected that the competencies you want to reward would have been defined. The metrics for evaluating eligibility of various recognition programs definitely would have been spelled out. Yes, it's expected, but yet it is important that you ensure that the recognition criteria is flexible enough to accommodate new ideas and feedback. It should be called that. I always say this, when I'm talking, that sometimes as leaders, we think we know what your people want. Sometimes as leaders, you think we have all the answers, we have all the solutions at on our fingertip. It's not usually like that in reality. Yeah, when I say flexibility is key, because when you carry out reviews of your current employee recognition programs, that will be feedback from your people. You want to find out from them if they feel valued. You want to find out from them if your programs are still motivating them, because in reality, what motivated a particular set of employees 5 years ago, a particular set of talent, might not be motivating right now. So you must ensure that it's flexible. You must build in flexibility into your programs. You have to be deliberate about it so that when you need to adapt, it becomes easy for you to adapt to new ideas, adapt to feedback from your people. It's important. So any employee recognition program that you have institutionalized in your organization that is not flexible, you have not built in flexibility criteria there, is not going to be effective in the long run. So it's time as leaders to start evaluating our present employee recognition programs. You're asking that question: is this program or are this program flexible enough to adapt to new ideas and feedback for my workforce, for my top talent? I recall some couple of years ago, some organizations will not give paternity leaves. Okay, because what we were used to when I started my career, and I'm sure when my mom started her career back then, was maternity leave, not paternity leave, but feedback from people, what will motivate top talent around the globe came up, and the need for giving paternity leaves came on board. So imagine an organization that does not have that flexibility built into their programs. An organization that is not listening to their people, definitely, we can't really motivate, you can't retain your top talent. They'll be lost to competition. Consider the next practical step that you can take as an organization, as a leader in an organization, to build an effective employee recognition program is that you must deploy strategies to measure effectiveness of your program, various programs as the case may be, because an organization will typically have various employee recognition programs. So you must be strategic about deploying various tools, measures, tactics to measure the effectiveness of your program. You must be deliberate about seeking feedback from your employees, from your talent, on the impact of these programs. If you want them to consider the process, and if you even want to get that feedback, if they consider your process of rewarding, recognizing employee effort is fair, you must open up communication channels to elicit these responses. So you must have your two-way feedback mechanism. You have to be creative about getting their responses, eliciting responses from them. Okay, you could ask various questions. Sometimes I could say that you could deploy surveys, interviews. You have to be deliberate about it. Don't always assume that what you are putting in place is very effective. How do you even measure effectiveness if you have not been deliberate about collating data? So when you collate data, you can take informed decisions. It's important. You could ask them various questions in your surveys, your questionnaire, during the interview sessions, And they're not going to be something very, very too demanding or complex. You could just find out simple questions like, in your opinion, do you think the recognition is very meaningful? Because I cannot value an employee recognition program if I don't think it is meaningful. So you need to find out what your employees, what your top talent find meaningful. Sometimes you get some programs that do not even motivate. And remember, the essence of building, effective employee recognition program is to make your employees, your top talent, feel valued so that they are motivated to contribute more. You could ask them if they want to mention some specific behaviors or key performance indicators, KPIs, that should receive recognition. Because sometimes as leaders, what we place value on in terms of what should be recognized might not be what they think it should be. So you could add from team leads, especially from those that are monitoring which KPI and specific behaviors that they think should receive recognition, because you need to measure. You need that information to get to be able to even improve on your programs. You need to even ask them, do they feel that they are adequately recognized? Because your definition of recognition might not fall into the box of their definition of being recognized. Yes, you have recognized them, but remember the key word is, do they feel adequately recognized? And importantly, you need to find out from your top talent, do they feel valued by the organization? Sometimes when people say they don't feel valued, it's not that they don't feel valued by the organization. Some people do not feel valued by their team lead. Because I say this a lot, that when people leave organizations, in reality, they don't leave that organization, they leave their team leads. They leave their leaders. Okay. So you need to find out from them if they feel valued. You must measure the effectiveness of your program. So imagine if the answer is a yes across board from various people. Yes, we feel valued. So you're getting it right. Do they feel adequately recognized? So if they do not feel adequately recognized, if out of a scale of maybe 10 people fill the survey of 50, you have just 15 out of 50 saying they do not feel recognized, the disparity is huge. It means that you need to review your employee recognition program. In fact, this even helps you to know where you have even done it well. So for instance, if you have giving it out and you're asking them and you have a 40 out of a 50 saying we feel adequately recognized, it means that your current program or your current programs in terms of your employee recognition programs are adequate. And that's positive feedback for you as a leader, for you as an organization. In fact, there's even what we call the peer-to-peer recognition. So you need to even find out from them, do they even feel, adequately valued by their peers? It's important. If I spend so much time in the organization, I'll spend more time with my colleagues than even my team leads. So I need to feel that sense of belonging. I need to feel appreciated. That's why we said creating that culture of employee recognition is not going to be a top-down approach anymore. It even comes to that horizontal, the same level. Peer-to-peer recognition has great impact on employees, top talent feeling valued in an organization or even otherwise. So we need to find out these things because it's important. It forms the basis of looking at our programs or even going back to the drawing board to evaluate these programs. Another practical step, you must ensure that you offer value-based awards. You want to give awards to your employees. You must give recognition based on core values of your organization. If one of your core values as an organization is teamwork, do you give awards based on team spirit, on great collaboration? If you do not do that, it means you are telling your employees that you do not value team spirit. It ensures, and when you give awards, value-based awards, it ensures that your people are more aligned with living the values of the organization. I say this a lot. I say that my definition of culture is that effectively lived values becomes the culture of the organization. If we talk about the way of life of a particular set of people, the way they relate with internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, your day-to-day interaction with your peers in organization, once you are deliberate about living, it becomes the culture. So what are those behavioral patterns you want to see? What are those cultural values that are there to your organization and want your people to live? This is the best way. You should have awards that will celebrate those who have even existed your expectation. They exceed your expectation. So you must give awards, so that others, would be deliberate, will strive to live those values. So it's interesting that I once worked in an organization, and one of the core values was innovation, and there was no award, there was no program, the employee recognition program that recognized innovation among the staff, among the workforce. They didn't have any award around it. And you are saying it is core to your work, and in reality, it is core to their work. And there is no award for that. It means you are just telling your team members, your employees, that you are just paying lip service to it. Innovation is not core to us. So anything that is core to you as an organization, where even your art of business or it's part of your competitive strategy that gives you that edge, over your competitors in the same industry, you must have an award, that will celebrate exceptional talent in your organization among your workforce. This is crucial. While most organizations will celebrate major achievements by their workforce, I would advise, please do not overlook the small wins. Recognize the small wins. An employee that has done something little, or we are going to term little right now, if duly celebrated or recognized. Am I saying that you give them the trophies? No. There are various employee recognition programs, awards, various ways of recognizing them that you can deploy as an organization, and we still talk about that on this episode. Now, it's important that you do that, because that will motivate such an individual to do more. Remember, the goal is to make them feel valued. The goal is to make them feel appreciated. So it doesn't have to be expensive. Celebrate those small wins. And I would say that it must be done in a timely manner. Give recognition as soon as it is due. It's the saying that does that you strike while the iron is still hot. Please, because remember that when you recognize, employees' contributions, you are using that as a motivator for others. So if somebody has done something and you're not recognizing it, and you now recognize maybe 3 months after, 6 months after, it's going to lose that value, because others are not likely to learn from it. In some cases, I say, oh, why was Mr. Peter recognized? We can't even remember. No, so strike while it's still hot. You have done this, no matter the small win, please do it. The big achievement, celebrate it while it's still hot. It's best to do it, at the right time, in a timely manner. And don't forget, not just the greater achievement, the seemingly big achievement, also celebrate the seemingly small wins. Remember, the goal is to motivate them. The goal is to make them feel appreciated so that they can do more. And the role of a leader is to motivate, inspire your people to do more, to be able to achieve more, to motivate them to be the best that they can be. So you owe them that as a leader, in an organization, to encourage them to want to be more, to do more, to aspire to be the best that they can ever be. Now I will look at the next point on is that you must be creative with your recognition programs, and you can only be creative when you get feedback from your people. Don't be standing, like I said earlier, what motivated them 5 years ago is unlikely to motivate them right now. So please keep the channels of communication open, let them keep talking, find a way for them to connect to you, reach out to them, and you come up with creative, motivating employee recognition program. If you are just joining us, thank you so much for joining. We will continue our discussion around creating a culture of employee recognition, and we have completed the practical steps for creating an effective employee recognition program that we started on last episode. Okay, remember, you must be creative with employee recognition programs. So let's consider the various employee recognition programs that an organization can adopt. We move from the very simple, the simplest of it all. Okay, so let's start with the first, which is what we call the verbal praise or informal recognition. Okay, this is a situation when an employee receives one-on-one praise for their contributions. Yes, you could say it seems small. Yeah, it's actually small, but its impact is huge. It has immense benefits. Okay, and it's as simple as a verbal praise. Thank you. However, when you tell an employee thank you, those two words, the THNK, the space and the YOU, speaks volume. However, when you say thank you, the reason for the praise must be clearly stated. E.g., thank you, for the timely submission of your report. It came in on time. I could send it to the client. That really helped us in getting, the contract. A thank you for completing project milestones even earlier than scheduled. A thank you. Let them know why you have said the thank you. That doesn't cost money, okay? But it has immense benefits. And most times, we always advise that team leads use this simple thank you. This is simple, and what it does is it helps to build personal rapport between team members and their team leads. So when you have a culture of thank you, they have done it well. I keep saying something when people say, I said thank you to my team members. If they have not done it well, if they have dropped the ball, if I can complain about them dropping the ball, so in the same vein, I should take my time to also say thank you when they go, beyond, when they stretch themselves to achieve a lot. When they stretch themselves to give me that report, to do a lot for me earlier than scheduled, then you should say thank you to them. It's simple. Those two words works like magic. Okay, now you've spoken about the verbal praise, informal recognition. It's as simple as a thank you. But remember, when we use this, you must state the reason of why you are thanking them. And I always advise, like I said, that team leads should use this a lot. It doesn't cost money to say thank you to them. Okay, so that's like another program, employee recognition program that an organization can use is formal recognition. Okay, unlike the verbal praise, this is a more structured form of recognition program, and because it's a more structured form of recognition program, it motivates employees to work hard. Because it's more structured, it's clearly spelled out the criteria for being rewarded, being recognized would have been clearly stated. It helps your top talent, your workforce, your team members to strive to earning these recognition programs. So it's more structured. I can look at the awards, the Hero Awards, the Legacy Awards, and say, look, I want to work towards it. So it's a more structured approach to recognizing your employees. And there are various types of structured formal recognition, programs, in terms of employee recognition programs that an organization could actually adopt. And in contrast to the verbal praise, the statistics have shown that about 84% of companies asserted that social or public recognition has led to an increase in productivity level of employees. So from the survey gathered, employees want more of public or formal recognition. Okay, so since that's what they want, so you can use the verbal, but in addition to that, research has proven that employees want to be formally, recognized, and there are various forms of it which we'll consider next. Another one is the peer-to-peer recognition. And I like this a lot because ordinarily, culturally, the norm has been it comes for top management recognizing, but no, now is your colleagues, those in the same unit with you, same department with you in organization, employee appraising another employee. Sometimes you tell them to vote and they choose someone, it helps. And what it does for you as an organization, it helps to foster this team spirit and collaborations a lot. And it's usually prevalent among peers. What it does for you is sometimes I've seen that some people will put in their best to please top management, but when it comes to working with their peers, working with people, they don't have that team spirit. So what it does when you have peer-to-peer recognition program is that it helps people to be conscious, of that team spirit, conscious of collaborating effectively with people within the same unit, among various departments. Remember, because whatever job you want to do is connected, every department is connected towards achieving a particular goal, the vision of the organization. So peer-to-peer recognition, awards around this, it has proven to be very effective and something that organizations are adopting across the globe. And we also have the career recognition or the milestone, recognition. This is when an employee is acknowledged for either completing a milestone or even, the length of service. But in fact, sometimes it's when an employee has closed a major, business deal which involves a lot of funds. And we have various types under this. We have the Year of Service Award. I'm sure you all be conversant with this. This recognizing the length of service of employees. It's, this is a way to celebrate employees that have spent considerable or significant amount of time with the organization. So for some organization, is when you have spent 10 years with them that you are recognized. You are given this award 20 years, 25 years, as the case may be. However, the one thing you should avoid as an organization is to stop reviewing. What I've seen sometimes is for those who have spent 10 years, 20 years, or 25 years, you need to find out what will actually motivate them. What will they value? Because what I've seen is some awards are, an organization has already, I mark what they will give out as an award. Okay, some will say a plot of land, some will say we give fund, but you have to be, you have to review because what worked and motivated 10 years ago might not motivate the current workforce. So you need to keep reviewing. I'm not saying review every day, but you cannot just leave an award that's been there, you've been given for the past 10 years and still expect to still motivate. Remember, the essence of this is to make them feel valued. And the essence of the recognition program again is to motivate other talent, for them to stay to work with you. So if you have given to is not significant, is not commensurable with what they have their effort for 25 years, I doubt if anyone will want to stay for that length of time with the organization. But if we get it right, Year of Service Award could be a big, break, a deal breaker for you in retaining talent as an organization. We also have the Customer Service Award. It's when we recognize employees that have displayed exceptional customer service. Reward them, because I've displayed exceptional customer service, to your clients. And, and most times, how do you get this? You must, you deploy surveys, you deploy channels to get feedback from your customers and clients. And you must ensure that those channels that you have deployed are effective. and your people see that process as being fair. So customer service award is another employee recognition program that has proven to be effective over time. We also have employee appreciation events. You could have surprise celebrations for them, office outings, even holiday parties. Some has turned into annual traditions. Now, I recall vividly there was an organization that I had my sister worked for. Some people have kept that annual Christmas party has kept some people in the organization for over a decade because it's always so beautiful. You come with your family members, there's a space for the children, there are gifts. People look, they long for those things. I remember back then, even when a bag of rice was cheap, you get a bag irrespective of the level you are, you get the groundnut oil, you get Christmas bonus. It's always so beautiful. In fact, children, the best way to get your employees, is to get their family members come. You can bring your friends. There's no restrictions in the number of, people you could bring. You could bring friends, family, relations. Yes, if you look at the kind of money you budget there, some people might be reluctant, but this organization is a multinational, will go all their way out to make everybody comfortable. And as simple as that could sound, some people have been there for over 10-15 years because they look forward to that Christmas party every year. And at that point, maybe when you have your friends, when you have your family members, there, and you are being recognized, that alone, gives that kind of fulfillment and they feel valued. So you can deploy these as an organization to recognizing your employees' efforts, their contributions to your organization. You could have is Employee Recognition Hall of Fame. This is when you have this board or this wall. It's just simply strictly dedicated to messages being posted to appreciate employees, and it's there. Mr. Patrick has done this exemplary leadership qualities, and it's there. And clients can see Mr. Patrick's family can come in to pay a visit, and they see it there. It's going to be very motivating, and in fact has proven to be motivating. In fact, some organizations have even introduced experimental rewards when we have singing classes. You want to do skydiving, dance class, you win all of those things as a way to recognize your efforts. And even we also have wellness program, that this consciousness about your weight loss, consciousness about functionality of the heart, because a lot of people are slumming these days due to heart attack. People wellness program to keep them active, keep them alive, keep them healthy, has also proven to be very motivating. And we also have career, learning and development opportunities. So there are a lot of them that diverse in nature. Okay, but that diverse, but you need to find out what will work for your workforce. You need to find out how they will feel valued. That's when I talk about the practical steps. One of the practical steps was to measure the effectiveness, and I say you cannot do that except to consult them for feedback. So whichever of this method would work, it has worked. A one-size-fits-all approach. It could be a combination of one or two or three of these employee recognition programs, but you must find out what will work in your organization before deploying any of these programs. And if you have any employee recognition program already, you need to go back to review how effective these programs have been. In fact, you could also even have company branded items, electric mugs, notepad, being given as simple as that. Sometimes, they have the ID cards, you can make it a bit different. It's just going to motivate them, feel valued. You just want to see that that show, that display from you, whatever form it is, that they are valued. But remember, you must find out, test the pulse of your workforce to find out how best they will want you to value them or show or display that you value them. I reviewed a company of companies, employee recognition programs, and I found some very interesting ones. The first I would like to talk about is Deloitte, okay? That focus is on career development and education. That's what they found very effective. They have leadership development programs that are very unique and flexible. In fact, they have been named as one of Fortune's 100 best companies to work for in 17 years in a row. So it means what they are doing in terms of career development and education has been effective. In fact, according to Glassdoor reviews and data, 80% of Deloitte's workforce, asserted that they would recommend working there to a friend. It means that 80% of them are ready to refer talents to them. In fact, and 90% of them also have the strong opinion that the CEO supports that growth. That is huge. And it boils down to the fact that they recognize their own strengths and they focus on career development and education. So you have to find what suits you. You have to find what will give you that edge in terms of competition. However, another organization that also reviewed Mars, their own strength is that they looked at some unique, in terms of leave, paternity leave. Paternity leave, they also introduced the Workplace Wellness Award. And when you have that, they deal with stress management, nutrition, weight loss management, in fact, on-site medical care, and among others. So you can look at that. Deloitte, the focus is on career development and education, and Mars is on wellness, is on paternity leave, and it's also proven to be very effective for them. For Zappos, a subsidiary of Amazon, what has helped them is their peer-to-peer employee recognition, okay? And they have various programs of that. They have the Zola program. You actually earn when employees volunteer to help out, and you can actually redeem that Zola, that kind of currency. Redeem things from their store, from the Zola store. Okay, you could even say that will even cost something, even if it's internal currency, to cost something. Another one that's helped them, which naturally will not really cost so much, is what they call the Master of Wow Parking. That is rewarding employees with premium parking space. Imagine premium parking space. Very creative. I told that one of the ways, practical steps in building an effective employee recognition program is you have to be creative. And one of the ways Zappos has proven to be very creative, premium parking space, and that has kept motivating the workforce. The Disney World is not left out. They also have the Disney Legacy Award. Okay, and this is the highest honor that is given to employees of Disney Corporation. And interestingly, employees are not nominated by top management, rather they are nominated by their peer-to-peer review. And what they do is, these recipients, they will have their handprints showcased in the Legend Plaza of Disney Studio. That is the highest that you can get, and it's coming from the peer-to-peer recognition. Let's come from top management. That colleagues are contemporaries, who usually nominate them. And the strategy that Unilever has deployed, one of the awards is the Heroes Award. And this is an organization in over 190 countries. And they all usually have a reward development plan for each of those countries. Okay, but they have this Hero Award, which is a global program and recognizes employees that have made significant impact yearly. And what they do is that the awardees, they will attend this exclusive grand event where it's called the Change Leaders Conference. Imagine having, around 400 senior managers present there. That is motivating, and that's what they've done, and it has helped them, to motivate talent and even, attract talent across the globe over the years. So you can see it's not a one-size-fits-all approach for every organization. You must sit down, look at your vision, look at your workforce, look at what will work and motivate your people. And I will always say, make your employee recognition programs more interesting. Make it catchy. Okay. Now, some people go say, okay, employee recognition program, there are different names. See the Legacy Award, the Heroes Award, So please, you can make it very catchy. You can make it very interesting for your workforce. If I can be simple as renaming, giving very interesting names. Okay. Now, I could come up with it as, okay, let's use Hall of Fame or use Achievers Club. But let me tell you, the interesting thing is it's likely to attract, the more matured workforce, achievers, because at that time, that they're in their 40s, 30s, those in their 40s, we want those, more matured, that kind of names, okay? The Hall of Fame Achievers Club. But what happens to the younger generation? It might not motivate, they might not be catchy. So could you imagine using something like Rock Stars Award? Okay. So whatever will work, please make it catchy, make it interesting. Those awards is when those awards are interesting, when they are catchy, there's likely to get the attention of your younger workforce. Okay. So on this note, we would wrap it up here. Please go back to the drawing board, review your employee recognition programs, and ask yourself, are these programs that we have, various awards, are they adequately, motivating our talent? Or will they be enticing enough to attract talent to our organization to stay with us for a long time? A big thank you to all for staying to the end of today's episode. If you have learned anything or liked anything we have spoken about today, kindly click the like button. And if you have any question, feedback, comment for us, kindly send a mail to contact@thearmorgate.org. Kindly check us up on our social media handles: Facebook Armorgate, Instagram Armorgate, LinkedIn Armorgate. Thank you so much. We hope that you join us same time next Friday. And the station is Armorgate Radio Communication. I remain your host, Titilola Ogushono, saying bye from here. Stay blessed.